And there we are. And it looks like we should be live on the Facebook, live on the Twitch, and live on the YouTube, Facebook, live on Swap, and I will share that link, and YouTube live on Swap, SWOP, Sex Workers Outreach Project, and live on Twitch via Mr. Williams' Laborhood. We probably should make a Swap Twitch, that's an option. Alright, but what we'll be having going on here is, we have Doctrix Snow, or Dr. Olivia Snow. They are, they've become public because of so many different instances of being doxxed by these chucklebucks out here, and, swerfs, right, sex work exclusionary radical folks out there. Don't know if we can apply an ideological title to all of them. Alright, and so we do have a great deal of material with Dr. Snow. So we'll actually be breaking it up into bits here. And so this first one will be particularly about artificial intelligence, sex workers being the canary in the coal mine, and violence against women via artificial intelligence. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring that in and get it going, as it were. Alright, you know where you want to go with the artificial intelligence.
Oh, I thought we were starting off with a shout out to...
the shout out to Erica.
Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hey, Erica.
Erica in the Laborhood. We did request questions, but hey, this works too.
I'll take it.
That just means you have fans everywhere. So, I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Oh, shucks.
But yeah, I did want to talk about AI, which I like low-key regret making that Twitter thread now, because now my mentions are just full of like assholes.
Also, why do people keep retweeting the one where you're like, at Mistress Snow, PG, you might be interested in this? It's gotten like 8 retweets.
Why? Okay. But so,
Twitter.
I don't understand Twitter. I don't understand people.
Well, yeah, their life's a problem.
Okay, so for folks who don't know and haven't read the Twitter thread, would you should check out my Twitter. It's fucking hilarious. This was actually about a very serious case about a murder of a 21-year-old student named Hina Bashir in London. And she was killed by a man who apparently had an obsession with her and was stalking her, constantly calling her. And so when she went missing, and then her body was found in a suitcase a few days later, and police, of course, investigated him. And he told police that he didn't know who she was. He was not in contact with her, all this type of stuff. Well, as the investigation continued, they went through his cell phone. And it turns out on his cell phone, aside from a bunch of texts and a bunch of calls to her, so obviously he knew her, he also had used AI tools to make basically like deepfake porn images of her, like sexualized images of her, images of them together, implying that they were like a couple. Like in his head, they were engaged apparently, even though she wanted nothing to do with him and had a boyfriend. And then of course, you know, police found the physical evidence as well.
You may have heard about the case of Hina Bashir, a 21-year-old woman whose life was cut short in a senseless act of violence. Hina was a bright and ambitious business management student studying at Coventry University's London campus. She had traveled all the way from Pakistan to pursue her dreams, but sadly, her dreams were shattered when she went missing in July of last year. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through her community and left her loved ones devastated. Just recently, a man named Muhammad Arslan, the 27-year-old, originally from Milford, admitted to killing Hina Bashir after jurors were sworn in for his trial. However, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter, denying the charges of murder and perverting the course of justice. During the trial at the Old Bailey, it was revealed that Arslan had become obsessed with Hina. They both grew up in the same village in Pakistan, and when Hina came to study in the UK, Arslan followed her months later. On the evening of July 1st, 2022, Hina visited Arslan's house to collect some belongings she had left there while moving accommodation. It was there that Arslan suffocated her face mask as chillingly described by the prosecutor. The next morning, Arslan set off from his house, dragging behind him a suitcase containing Hina Bashir's lifeless body. He took a taxi to an industrial estate near Upminster, where he abandoned the suitcase in some undergrowth. Investigators found damning evidence linking Arslan to the crime. Hina's blood was discovered on his bedclothes, and face masks similar to the ones used to suffocate her were recovered from his house. Disturbingly, he had also accessed messages and photographs on Hina's phone after her final visit. The court also learned that Arslan had developed an infatuation with Hina while they were in Pakistan. He had repeatedly contacted her, declaring his love and expressing his desire to marry her and start a family. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers that some individuals face, even when pursuing their dreams and education in a foreign country. Hina Bashir's life was cut short, and her potential will forever remain unfulfilled. Please keep Hina and her family in your thoughts and prayers. Let's hope that justice is served and that her memory serves as a reminder to cherish and protect
they were
one another.
engaged, apparently, even though she wanted nothing to do with him and had a boyfriend. But and then of course, police found the physical evidence as well regarding this case. But he went to court. He ended up finally admitting that he knew her. He took a plea deal. But the thing that struck me about this case in particular was that in addition to his stalking tendencies, right, in addition to the way that he felt entitled to be in a relationship with her, which are all very common things that we've heard about before, was in particular his use of AI in putting her into images to imply that they were in a relationship, and images that were sexual. So one of these, and this is why, of course, why I tagged you, and for some reason 8 people retweeted it, is that I know you talk about AI a lot in terms of doing like the deepfake porn and how that's sort of being used non-consensually against people, in particular, oftentimes women. So yeah, let's talk about that. Sorry, that intro felt a little clunky, but let's go.
No, it's all good. It's all good. As you were talking, I kept thinking, so that piece I wrote for Wired about Lensa in December, the reason I didn't feel weird about uploading my pictures was because my never-ending battle with medieval Twitter. Back in 2021, they had, I know it's ridiculous, they had fed my face into meme generators and shit, so it had already been warped. And then as you kept talking, I was thinking back in, I think it was June or July 2021, they had put together some little petition thing that you could sign with a Google form.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them or some of them or something spent a month or a month and a half spamming the Google form methodically, so that then after they finished taking the signatures,
mm-hmm.
they could post this Nancy Drew ass shit proving that I was the one who spammed the Google form. It was spammed with racial slurs and shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the proof was look, she tweeted about blah blah blah, and then so and so tweeted about blah blah blah, and that's when she must have showed up at the Google Doc to call him I don't need to get canceled again. But people have been doing this fuck shit with tech forever manually.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even imagine how much labor has to go into spamming a Google form for a month and a half in order to later frame a dominatrix for it. But being able to it's fucking absurd. But I'll send you the thread. It's really funny. But where was I? Oh, but being able to just take someone's pictures from Facebook or Instagram and feed them into AI that can generate moving images and shit. That's with that at people's disposal. That's it's so violent.
It is. And it's wild because even in the Twitter thread I made about it, they're AI isn't bad, it's how people use it. And it's of course
guns aren't bad. People kill people. Guns don't kill people.
I didn't kill them. The bullets did. What? Okay, fine. But no, it's wild to me how so many people do not consider this to be a violation of boundaries, a violation of consent. you know, and everyone's like, well, everyone knows it's fake, it's not a big deal, but there's still something incredibly violent about someone taking your images and using them in a sexual content without your consent. Like, what is this? Like, that's
and like
me.
People don't know that it's fake. Like, I mean, even the Google form shit, it was so abundantly obvious it was made up. But like, I lost like actual opportunities over that utter nonsense. Like, people do not realize that at all. Like, what? No, I don't. And I think that people, I mean, because people who are making this shit aren't the same people who are going to be victimized by it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, she was a woman of color, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was I believe Pakistani.
That's what I was thinking. So like that is the like lived experience of being a woman, especially a woman of color, is so far removed from what any of these fucknuts have like knowledge about. That, like
it is,
yeah, that's not like a do I want to say the subjectivity of the word? I don't know, but like a perspective that is even belongs to anyone. That's like I don't know. Ethel, my cat is stuck.
Yes, Hina Bashir, yes, correct, was Pakistani and studying in London.
Yes.
And there are still I only so far, what article did you have that had the correct information regarding the images being fake? Because I only found metro.uk saying the images were faked. Every other article I said claimed that she was the girlfriend of the murderer.
No, she was. She actually had a boyfriend who was not him. It was a local, more like local outlet. And I don't think I have it here. It was in my Google Doc actually.
Yeah, like right now the Guardian has false information up.
I think maybe it was the Essex one, Essex Live.
But people don't. They know it's fake.
Yeah, I think that's a very big part of it. Is everyone's like, oh, well, if it's AI, it's going to look terrible. Everyone knows it's fake, and it's like that's not necessarily the case. And then the consequences have already happened of, you know, that being out there thinking that it's, you know, people thinking it's real, and you know, also even if it's found out to be fake later, that doesn't mean you're not going to suffer the consequences immediately, because a lot of people have this sort of knee-jerk reactions and responses to this sort of thing, you know. And
people think that you can't change a narrative at that point.
Exactly.
Like there's no amount of evidence.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to find the link to the article now.
Oh no, you're good.
Looking at I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the Guardian. Yeah, their article is it says they have a note. The only note on the article is that it's more than 10 months old, when really it should have an update saying that no, he had fake images, and they just don't have that there. So if someone were to search her name to see the story, they would just be lied to, and they would run with that lie.
Yeah. And that is something worth noting, is because I believe she was killed like a year ago. And so that's when the stories originally came out about it, but he just pled out last week. And that's why it's back again.
So, yeah, I'm looking at one in the BBC.
Do you have the D17 email open?
I do not. Let's go ahead and get that open.
Yeah, because that's actually where I found the story, because it was in the December 17th. Yeah, which also, just as a side note, when we do the December 17th work, right, putting together the list of names of sex workers who have passed, we have like a Google, a Gmail account set up that just gives us a ton of emails that we go through. And I find a lot of stories like this, where even though she wasn't a sex worker, it still, you know, pings enough of the tags that I end up seeing it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing like, well, they had actually gotten quite close.
Because they're from the same town in Pakistan. He followed her to London. Like, how is that not like a bigger part of the story? She went to London to go study, and he followed her there. That's creepy ass behavior.
Nuts. I searched with artificial intelligence, and Google only gave me 2 results under news. God, what the? We live in hell.
We do. It's really what it is.
And like, at what point, like, is there going to be any restrictions? I feel like probably not.
I think
people don't give a shit.
Honestly, I think it's not going to happen until like a lot of bad things happen first, right? Like someone's going to have to be murdered, or someone's going to have to be like it'll have to happen to like the daughter of like a politician or something before there's any sort of like action on it, and that makes me very sad. And
I mean, they're reactive, not proactive.
Exactly.
And people are too busy thinking like should AI have human rights? Like, can we work on giving humans human rights?
Where should I be looking in D17?
What's that June 9th one that was opened?
June 9th. All right, we have a man killed in dispute over sex worker.
No.
Policeman, crime figure in frame of drag queen murder. Jesus Christ.
No.
Right, all worthwhile headlines, all of them, indeed. But none of these.
Wait, do you want me to go upstairs and get my laptop? Because I have it in
Oh, see, I just found an article. Police found pictures of her on which love hearts had been added, and they found collages that have been created of her image. The evidence suggests he was obsessed with her. Yeah, no shit. The police also found on his phone a very large number of photographs of Hina Bashir, some of them having been photoshopped or altered using software or apps.
There you go. Which outlet was that?
Yeah. Do you want me to just send you the link?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I know, Lucy, it is scary.
She is like a very dedicated lapdog, I see.
She's fucking ridiculous.
And folks, like, this is what we go through. This is how much we take serious finding the right information.
Yeah, okay. And actually, this isn't even the same outlet that I found the first time, but yeah, okay. But yeah, so where does it, let me scroll and find it.
There was like a little pull quote.
You had it, it's not in your internet history?
No, because I was doing it from the laptop.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, right. So a large number of photographs, some of them having been photoshopped or altered using software or apps. And then also pictures of her on which love hearts had been added, and they found collages. The evidence suggests that he was obsessed with her. He was obsessed with her. He literally followed her to another continent. He was obsessed with her. But
it's fucking absurd.
Yeah, and it's wild to me how people are still defending AI, knowing that this sort of thing happens. And I can only imagine how much more it's going to happen, right? I've already seen, I've seen so many ads of like the deepfake porn, with celebrities. And we know in real time, in real life, people who have done sex work, people who have done porn, people who have OnlyFans are getting fired from their jobs, right? They're facing public ridicule. So how long until, you upset someone and then they make a deepfake porn of you, right? Like we already talked about.
Or there was this one teacher, I'm gonna say like Seattle, who made deepfake porn of his students.
Oh,
like high school. Yeah.
I was just about to say what if, and then you said it. So there you go. Like literally, I was gonna go what if right there.
I think Kat Trend. I don't know her last name.
Oh,
but she writes for everybody. Yeah, I think she reported on it. But and we're just like sitting around. And it's not like I remember maybe like a month ago there was a tweet thread of like all the advances in AI this week, and like half of them weren't even remotely things that could be described as AI. It was just like computer science, like or like biomedical engineering or something. Like that's not AI. And then the rest of it was just like, I think there were 2 examples that were actual AI, and it was the most like dystopian horseshit. So it's either like, this is going to almost exclusively make the world worse in these concrete ways, or this is like a cute little toy that can make pictures, which will also be used to like make the world worse in these concrete ways. Like,
seriously, that's what it is though.
Like I can already see it happening, right? Because we already have the legal precedent of affluenza, right? And so it's gonna happen. Watch, like underage little misogynist teenage boys are going to do this to underage girls, and they're going to get around child porn laws because it's fake.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And they're going to disseminate it to their peers if that's not already being done.
Well,
it's definitely already being done.
Last year. Do you know the Patrick Carey case?
No.
Which is
exactly what your kids are up to, even online. This is a student from Klein ISD School is accused of going to
An apology from a young Long Island man after he created fake photos of former classmates and shared them on a pornographic website. The troubling case has promoted the NASA DA to draft new laws for so-called deepfaking because as CBS 2's Carolyn Gussoff reports, they don't exist in New York.
Patrick Carey of Seaford addressed his victims in court. I don't expect forgiveness, he said. I'm just sorry for severely harmful acts against former middle and high school classmates in Levittown. Arrested in 2021, he superimposed the faces of 14 girls onto images of sex acts and shared them online with their personal information, encouraging others to harass them. A frighteningly simple process called deepfaking.
There's no satisfaction, but I just pray for the victims and hope they're able to go on with their lives.
Anguished parents and victims were in court. One young woman spoke for all when she told Carey, I will never forgive you. I hear your name and I feel sick. The judge said his truly despicable behavior amounts to mental violence. The sentence, 6 months in jail, 10 years probation, lifetime status as a sex offender. New York has no criminal statute addressing the act of manipulating an image to cause harm. DA Ann Donnelly wants to change that. She's drafted 3 proposed laws to close a loophole and keep up with the dark side of technology.
The proposed statute will finally address criminally the threat of deep-faked explicit materials that are being weaponized against innocent New Yorkers.
The DA hailed the young women who discovered the altered images of themselves online and went on a mission to find who was responsible.
He underestimated their bravery, their resilience. These incredible women are not victims. Today they are my heroes. I commend them for their courage. And I thank them for coming forward.
The manipulated images have been removed from the pornographic website, but the DA cautions on the internet anything can live forever. In Mineola, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS 2 News.
So last year, a Long Island man has been indicted for taking photos of girls off their social media accounts. Many of them were in high school and middle school and altering them to make them look sexually explicit and then posting them on a pornographic website. So yeah, he was taking like middle schoolers like Instagram pictures and shit and turning them into deepfake porn.
And also,
And of course,
yes,
people are probably like, well, and that's why porn should be outlawed. Like, we're missing the point.
Right, which is also like, no, actually, no. And I hate calling it deepfake porn, honestly, because porn implies that it's something done consensually with adults that's filmed, right?
Right, yeah.
That's not what this is.
I mean, deepfake child sexual exploitation material or deepfake revenge porn. Maybe. Yeah. No, it's fucked up. But I mean, I can't imagine even how it would be weaponized against like a demographic that lawmakers would actually give a shit about. Like, remember in 2016 when some artist made like nude statues of Trump and Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
Like, if that didn't bother them, like, why would they care about marginalized people?
Mm-hmm. Right, and then there was, of course, what is this man? Oh shoot, let me see if I can find his name. There was a man who was involved in a deep fake porn scandal after a hacker messaged his friends because he refused to pay a blackmail bribe, basically. So someone did a deep fake porn and sent it to all his colleagues. Yeah.
Oh. Well, and like, probably because I am a teacher, I'm just waiting for some student to make some deepfake porn of one of their teachers and then get her fired.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what it looks like. When you mentioned the one, you noted one in Seattle, and I went to go see if I could find an article on the spot. And at the top of the search results was a student creating a deep fake of a teacher in Texas. And then 4 beneath that are promoted, you know how you could pay to be at the top of the Google results, a site called Mr. Deepfakes, which I guess that's just he's made a business out of it.
Yeah, I think I've actually heard of that guy. If that's the same guy I'm thinking of, where you can send him pictures and he will, like, if you pay him, he will make deep fakes for you. And so of course men were sending pictures of women that, you know, they either like wanted to date or like their ex-girlfriends and things like that. And he was doing deep fake porn, you know, making the deep fake porn of that. But it's also, you know, worth remembering that what was that one website that used to be up where it was just nothing but revenge porn?
Is anyone up? I think there's a Netflix documentary about it called The Man on the Internet.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Tonight, to know exactly what your kids are up to, even online. This student from Klein ISD School is accused of going to great lengths to try and get his teacher in trouble by creating fake nude photos. Right. Fox News' Matthew Seedorf investigating this for us tonight. Really something that could happen to anyone, Matthew.
That's right. It's really scary what this technology can do, and if used for the wrong reasons, it can lead to jail time. A shocking cyber investigation underway in the Houston area school involving sexual deepfakes. A Klein ISD student accused of digitally altering and creating fake nude photos of a teacher.
If you use someone else's persona to create a website or social media account or email address with the intent to defraud or harm them, it's the offensive online impersonation.
School district officials telling Fox 26 the student edited his teacher's face on the bodies of nude women, then created an account online, posting and sharing the deep photos of his teacher with text, wanting money for more sexual pictures.
Under the Texas Penal Code, it's a third-degree felony. It is a serious crime. If you are accused of it, you're looking at some serious punishment.
This technology can be scary. Someone could take anyone's photo from online, put it on someone else's body, and even make very realistic videos.
A lot of the technology is being used for you know. Not the best purposes for either pranks or to be mean or vindictive.
Our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything.
As technology improves, so does the quality of deepfakes, which can target anyone. This video, former President Barack Obama, actually actor Jordan Peele. How can people stay safe?
There's really not. I mean, your picture's going to be out there. And so there's really not a whole lot you can do.
A person from the school district telling us this matter continues to be under investigation as we consult with law enforcement agencies to stop the targeted cyber harassment. Right now, I'm told that several different law enforcement agencies are investigating this case. We're live on the Northwest side. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
Yeah, and it's like, so if we already know that revenge porn sites like that have existed and people are willing to do that, why is it not clicking for more people that this is what, like, the next step of the AI deepfakes? Like, how do y'all not see this coming? It's very frustrating.
And then as we were talking, we're going to go on a journey through my thought process, which I need a narrator. I'll forget why I was even thinking it. Is that, like, with Pasta Sesta, we can't have any kind of website at all. I was teaching a few months ago, and I was also in the middle of an article draft, and I like tried to go to my own website like while my students were free writing or some shit. And it wouldn't load, and it said that my website had been flagged as like adult content, which is hilarious because the majority of my website is like links to my articles and like podcasts and shit. Like, it's not even the sex work stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's some of it, but at any rate, like, the people who are sounding the alarm are getting like systemically silenced. So that, like, if you're going to know about this website, it's either people who are like sounding the alarm but deliberately not being listened to, or it's people who want to use the website to make revenge porn.
Right.
Like, victims who aren't sex workers, I guess, like, aren't even going to be like privy to that information.
Yeah, no, it's very frustrating, and I wish more people were taking it seriously, but everyone's still too busy like, look at this AI filter, it made me look so silly, and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's Fairy Princess. Like, I don't and then like the people I feel like want, like, because they don't want it to be true because it's dystopian as shit, just like think you're lying.
Yeah.
and I'm like, you can be like, no, here's a literal, you could go visit the thing yourself, and they still think you're lying.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it'll be extra interesting to see how often this starts to happen, considering how many people do put up photos of themselves on social media, like without even really thinking about it. Because like the things I tweet that people get upset about, I'll never understand. But
oh my god,
I made a Twitter thread explaining like the problems with like, you know, just taking pictures of yourself and how all these like show yourself at 20 and show yourself now and what did you look like, you know, whatever, or like what's, you know, all these, and how they're just being like put into you know, databases, and how police and law enforcement use them, right? So of course, obviously, because ACAB all day, like a big part of it was talking about how you know, police you know, sort of misuse these things and keep people in a sort of perpetual digital photo lineup, you know. And but now also keep in mind that those images aren't only going to police, they're also just everywhere. And I don't think people are recognizing that, like, oh, I'm taking a selfie, but the people behind you, right? Because it started off like, the whole reason that I started that thread was because there was a woman who was clearly trying to do, I guess, like Instagram pictures or whatever. And so she's like recording herself and taking her pictures, but she was at a baseball game.
I remember that. Yeah, the baseball game.
Yeah, and you could see the two people behind her very clearly, and they were like mad about it. And everyone's like, why are they bullying her? And I was like, I don't want my face in your fucking Instagram reel. You know?
At all.
You know, and people don't think about the long-term consequences of that. So not only are those images now, because they're made public, anyone can have them, not just from the police database surveillance aspect, but also for that deep fake shit. They have your face now. Like, you need.
Well, like I was when one of the many chapters of my saga with medieval Twitter. I just can't. Anyway, I think June 2021, they made a bunch of these like Pokemon cards of me, and like had pictures of me, and then like under it would say like courtesan con artist, like, you know, other portions. But I know, I'll show you them. They're fucking ridiculous. But half of the pictures were pictures I'd never seen of myself. Like at all. I'd never seen these pictures, and I found out later that like I don't have Facebook. I deleted mine years ago because Facebook's gross, and all my other shit is super private. They had found my parents' names somehow, and then went to Facebook and found their profiles. And my mother had put up, I remember my mother forgot my 30th birthday, and I gave her a bunch of shit about it back when I was still talking to her. So she like put up all these pictures. We're like, happy birthday, that was yesterday. That's where they found these pictures. What? Was I didn't even know existed. On my mom's Facebook. She doesn't even have the same surname as me. Like, wild. That's what they wrote. I'm sure they found their address too.
That is fucking wild. Yeah, see, that type of behavior is creepy. And when someone is willing to go through those sort of lengths to just harass someone, like, of course they're gonna make deepfake porn of you. Like, that's like just or like the logical next step to me.
I've also been in that like protracted argument with Chris Boosie for a while, the spoutable guy. I just why does everyone always want to fight me? I'm so genial. But
I cannot stand Chris Boosie. I'm just gonna put that out.
What the fuck is wrong with that man? He posted a woman's arrest records, I think yesterday.
I saw that.
Yeah. And like the fact that I mean, we have no privacy protections whatsoever. The fact that that shit is available to the public at all.
All right. And it looks like right there is where we will go ahead and stop this one. And again, there's about 2 hours and 26 more minutes of material, but we figure there's so many tangents, so many topics that I would rather break them up into separate episodes as opposed to you know, one large massive audio and video drop. So this was Phoenix, Calida, and Dr. Snow on AI, and they'll be moving into other areas of internet harassment, news, politics, and sex workers' rights. Thanks for tuning in. This Sex Workers Outreach Project, a public-facing podcast and video. Little clips going up on TikTok as of recent, trying to build up an archive there. Episodes going on the YouTube. All right, check out the episode about a nice book about liberation. And of course, the podcast feed, Swapcast. You can search it in your favorite podcast player. And go ahead and be as safe as possible wherever you are. All right.